Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back. It is me, once again, screaming into the void of the internet. So, I've got something I want to talk about, and, it's a bit more... I'm not going to say it's from a relationship standpoint, but, I've been looking at some stuff on the, internet, not necessarily about relationships per se, but it's about how, there are certain chicks that are out here, and they're talking about how there is so much hatred for women now, right? There's so much bitterness towards women now. And they talk about how, again, it ties back to incels and blah, 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 blah. And, I kind of just want to give my 2 cents on this. Now, I'm not going to lie and say that there aren't guys that are incredibly bitter towards women right now, that are incredibly resentful towards women and have a lot of contempt for women. Heck, I myself am one of them. Now, the resentment that I have is not necessarily towards women, it's mainly towards cis-tuds, blizzax women. Okay, because I was raised around that. And listen, man, just the thought of being around them in general these days is just very frustrating to me. I don't even want to be around them. I know how draining they are on me. I know how irritating they are to be around. So I literally fled to a neighborhood where I don't have to look at them. I don't have to think about them. I may have to work with them a little bit, but luckily for me, there aren't really that many ones there, But the ones that are there, I do have to put up with, But trying to hold, frame to the topic, shall we say, okay? This hatred that these gals are thinking of, and let's be real, this video isn't necessarily going to go to gals, but this hatred that they're thinking of, you know what? I'm going to say something very unpopular, and YouTube's probably going to kick my arse about it right now, and you might see this video get flagged or something. It's deserved. It's deserved. I'm just going to be real. If you're one of these older gals and you're talking about where's this hatred coming from, listen, I'm going to just tell you straight up, it's deserved. Because I refuse to believe that none of you saw all of the signs, all of the red flags here, and you chose to stay silent. I'm sure that you saw the rise in consistent false accusations. Believe all women, stuff like that, right? You took full advantage of believe all women. You saw the false accusations and you just didn't really care. And even if it was made clear, you didn't say that was wrong that happened. You didn't say any of that, did you? Right? These instances where these guys put their lives on the line or even lose their lives, protecting some random chick, only to have her walk right over his carcass. Do any of these gals out here saying that, oh, what's up with the hate for women? Do any of them say that that woman was wrong for not even standing by the guy as he's dying and calling an ambulance, at least call an ambulance? No. How about the paternity fraud? Do any of these gals sit there and say that that girl shouldn't be crying? Why is she crying for the paternity fraud? She just ruined his life. Did any of them say that? No. No. Am I going to lie to you and tell you that the hatred that a lot of guys have for gals, is because they can't get them? No, I'm not going to lie. There are a lot of guys in this space that feel like they're owed that. That's my biological imperative. I'm owed it. Because I'm going to tell you something that I will never grasp in this space, okay? Nothing against doomers, nothing against black pillars, okay? I'm not going to say incels because I don't believe in an incel. I don't believe that at all. Nobody is an incel if you choose to just have money, okay? If you choose to actually use your money, you're not an incel. That is just an option that you are choosing not to explore. Because for some reason, despite how brilliant, and I'm going to say this again, there are brilliant people in this space. There are people who are way smarter than me in this space. They can come to very, very, very objective conclusions about a lot of the stuff in the world. But when it comes down to love, when it comes down to attraction, and the dynamics between the genders, they cannot accept that a gal just wants them for resources. They can't accept it. They don't want to. They don't want to. They will look at truth in the face and reject it and say, oh no, if I was just taller, bro, blah, blah, blah. Even though these guys with money are getting cheated on. You got to think for a minute. You got these handsome soccer players, football players, basketball players getting cheated on. They're taller than you. They're buffer than you. They're in perfect shape. They have tons of money. and they still get cheated on. But then we're going to sit around here and talk about how, oh, it's just attraction. If it was just attraction, then it'll all work. No, it won't. Because the problem, guys, is not with you. I know you want to believe it is. And some of y'all do have some mental stuff going on, but the problem is mainly with them. And this is why, again, I'm going to tie it back to the gals talking about what's up with the hate for us. Because, again, when that is proven, when the spotlight's on them, what do? They deflect. They deflect. Well, it's you mans. You mans did it first. And then you look around in today's day and age, can most guys do that? No. No, they can't. Now, the ones that can, do they do it? Absolutely. But I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to tell you something straight up. I think that those guys who are doing it now learned from you. I think that they did. You know, the F-boys, like they like to call them, they learned from you. They learned from your roster. You really want to sit around here and think for a minute that even these guys, these freaking trad cucks, right? You think they got the balls to go through their wives' Instagram? How about their Snapchat? Their Twitter? You really think that they got the nuts to go through there and look at who she's talking to, who she's looking at, who she's liking the pictures of? You think they got the balls to do that? They don't got the balls to do that. I just trust her, bro. That's what they tell you. But I'm just going to say this real quick. This hatred that they have, you know, for the gals and stuff like that, it isn't just about the rejection. It's just about acknowledging that half of the population has been allowed to consistently get away with the worst behavior imaginable. And nothing was done about it. Not one thing was done about it. And yet, if a guy is doing the same thing, and I'm not saying that the behaviors that you're doing is something that we shouldn't get punished on. Okay, like if you're doing the kind of crap that chicks are doing, that's just bad behavior all around. Okay, but watching half the population get away with something consistently, knowing that if you do it, you're gonna be met with a much heavier hand of the justice. Yeah, that's gonna breed contempt. And I'm just gonna say this again: you deserve it. They deserve every freaking bit of it. Not because someone doesn't love me, bro. Not because of that. But because they saw this and they did nothing. They allowed all of this negative behavior to go unpunished. Guys hold other guys accountable. If we see a guy molesting kids, we want to do something. Now, unfortunately, it also does seem like the only people who want to do something now, to say female groomers, let's be real, are people in this space, you know? It's people in like the red pill space and doomer space. Now, I still think at least, let's just say 70%, and I'm being dead ass honest, okay? 70% would still just bang the chick. They just forgive her and bang her, you know? That's what they do. But I do think that there are that 30%, it's only in this space, that would actually see her, you know, two behind the ear, pretty much, if you catch my drift. You know, only in this space. Because the fact of the matter is, listen, I have come up to the truth that, hey, listen, I don't own women. I don't owe them nothing, but they don't owe me nothing. You know, it goes both ways. Guys get so angry when they hear this. Listen, they don't owe you their body. So I'm more than willing to pay for it because I feel like that is the most honest exchange between the sexes. Heck, I got an appointment scheduled for this Thursday because this Thursday I'm off. So that's what I'm going to be doing. And before I die, right? I guess. You know, but all kidding, you know, hopefully, I guess. But all seriousness, that is the most honest of the exchanges between the sexes, you know. They all want your resources, every single one of them. It's just about their approach. The Western approach is retarded. It's just insufferable, you know. The approach elsewhere, it's just a bit more soft-handed, but it's still, you know, I'd rather be able to marry you because you got more money than the people here. That's why they aren't loyal to those guys. You know? But this hatred, it's not something that was just, you know, felt yesterday. It's not something that is fostered because of, air quotes, toxic, misogynistic videos. It is first-hand experience. It is consistently watching people in your own life, be it your sisters, your mom, whoever, the girls that you talk to, right? Treat you differently because you aren't some perfect guy, you know? It is consistently watching them do negative things and get away with it. And you know it's not right. Listen, the truth of the matter is these gals don't realize how bad they've effed up. And you're seeing it firsthand now, because I'm gonna be honest. Say what you will about what's happening in Germany and stuff like that when like the gals are getting like got by the migrants and stuff. But listen, I'm gonna be real. That's the one thing where it's like, listen, I don't agree with the migrants. I don't agree with like letting all these people in, but I'm gonna tell you something straight up. I hope that every single guy in like a European country, right? I hope that every single guy in a European country, when he sees those stories, he doesn't get mad. Don't get mad that they're getting struggle snugged. Because at the end of the day, I promise you, those same gals let those guys in. They voted for that. They voted for that. So there's no point in you getting angry about that. You should just be mad that that kind of person is in here to begin with. But when he's out here attacking, like, you know, some random lady, if it's not your girl, if it's not your wife, your sister, or your little husband, listen, that's them. They voted for that. They effed up. Don't die for them. Don't be like these guys trying to be a vigilante. No. They asked for that. They asked for that. Is what it is. But I'm going to go ahead and just kind of wrap this up. Personally, my opinion, when I'm looking at all these gals talking about how, oh, they just hate us now and stuff like that, welcome to the club. You know, welcome to Kill All Men. You remember that? I remember that. I remember that right back in high school. That was going around. All that female power bullcrap. Heck, I even hear some of that bullcrap at my job. Talking about how, oh, well, we just want to like earn a certain amount of money and it's just the pay gap. The pay gap because you don't want to do certain jobs? Are you kidding me? But you want to get paid as much as them? Listen, I got no business being paid as much as a firefighter. Okay? I cook freaking food. I have no business being paid as much as a firefighter. The guy is risking his life. He has to put on heavy arse equipment and carry out people out of fires. I have no business being paid that much. I don't deserve that. Unfortunately, this thinking process is not shared amongst double X chromosomes. So, yeah. I'm just going to say it one more time. This hate, it ain't something that just happened overnight. It's something that grew. It's something that has festered. And all of the opportunities that they had to address that, they chose not to address it. So personally, in my opinion, I don't give a rat's arse. I think it's well-deserved. I don't hate them. I don't hate them myself. I just say, hey, listen, they're doing what they feel is best. And that's fine, you know? Because what they feel is best is inherently effed up because their thinking processes are not logical. They're not based in reason. They're just based in whatever they feel in that moment. It just kind of is what it is. And personally, I don't care. Because at the end of the day, we just both going to use each other. Let's just be real. We're both going to use each other. So I might as well just take the logical choice and just bang a hooker every now and again and call it a day. Because by me doing that, that relieves my sexual desire. She gets what little money in that instance. And hey, guess what? I keep my peace. That's just how I see it, you know. But again, this hatred, 100% deserved. I have no pity or qualms about that. I don't give a rat's arse what anyone feels. I could care less that they're talking about, oh, who's going to protect us? It ain't going to be me. And I hope to God that it ain't going to be none of y'all. Don't freaking allow that simp in you to take over when one of these gals is about to get got. No. Don't get involved, especially if you're listening to this from like one of these freaking European countries. Oh, no. Don't do it. Your life has value. Does her life have value? Of course. But that doesn't mean its value is equal to yours. And what I mean by that is not that you have more value, okay? Relax. I'm saying that don't mean that just because you want to save her that you should be willing to give up yours. That's what I'm trying to say. And it's on the table because you don't know what's going on these days. You don't know what those guys are going to do. You don't know what they're packing. It's not your wife, not your girlfriend, not your daughter, cousin or something. Ain't your problem. Is what it is. But I'm going to go ahead and end that here. Thank you guys, as always, for listening. And I just kind of had to get that off my chest because I'm sick. I'm sick of seeing these gals have the audacity to say that, oh, we're hated these days, you know. So I just kind of wanted to rant about that. Hope you guys enjoyed listening to that. Listen to my crazy ass as usual. And I will end this again, guys. There is life beyond your pain. Continue to push forward through the bad days that we can enjoy the good ones, no matter how few they are. Thank you as always. God bless. I'll see you next time.